So this is just a quick video about the Marker Match API itself. Marker Match is a mobile app I wrote about 8 years ago for my own personal use. And behind the scenes, it has a couple APIs that it uses, and I use these APIs a lot just to basically illustrate API architecture, since it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. But these APIs are publicly available. You're welcome to use them. There is some metering on them, so once you hit about 50 requests in a day, it will give you an authorized error. I have not yet gotten to the point of issuing API keys, which I might consider doing at some point in the future. But for now, they're here free to use, and I just want to go over them right quick and show you how you can use them. And the first one you'll need to know about is the product lines themselves. So again, the URL for these is services.raydreams.com API v1, and to get a listing of all the product lines, you just do straight lines here. So this is a GET request, and all of them are GET requests. That makes it very easy, so we can just copy all of this. And we don't even need to use a special tool in this case. We can actually just jump over to our browser. This is a web form on my website that you can go to, and you just get a UI form. We'll come back to this in just a second. But you just paste that straight in there, hit return, and you're going to get a listing of all the various product lines that are supported currently in the database. The value you're looking for is the value called the key. Let me zoom in a little bit here. So this key value is really what you're looking for. So you can see Copic, Prisma, Polychromos, Touch Twins, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You're going to need that value for the next request, which is what you need to actually match a specific color. So this time, instead of doing it in the browser, I am going to jump over to Postman right quick. So let me jump over there, and I'm going to do a match color. Zoom in a bit. So again, the difference here is the URL is now match. URL is now match, followed by that key line that from the previous product lines list. So you enter in that key of the line you want to match on, and then the color value. So you'll see that up here. I'm going to match on Copic Sketch, and this is obviously going to be a pure red color. So send that, and I actually have the results down here just kind of hidden, and you'll get a result set back, and these are always ordered the closest matching color. The top 9 matches, the closest matching listed first down to the least matching. And there's actually a value in here called the delta E, and the larger that delta E is, the less it matches. So the smaller delta E is a closer match, right? So we can kind of prove that by just changing the color to, well, we don't even have to say that. We can just say, and so you see the delta E in this case to black and Copic has a delta E of 0. So it's an exact match as far as it's concerned. The other values in here, of course, are the RGB, the CMYK, and the lab values. There's a reason why the lab value is actual numeric values instead of a string as these other two. But that's how you can get the matches from any particular product line. Now, there's a third API call that was suggested by a user of the app. So it was affectionately given the name called Walking a Color. It's very similar to the matching a color, only you don't need a product line, you just need a color name, color itself, color value itself. Again, it's match and then some color. So over here, we just want to say some particular match, some particular color. And oops, that's the console, sorry. You see what it's doing here is actually looking for the closest match in each of the particular product line. So the Copics obviously we're going to give pretty much the same value unless they don't have that color. So your Copic Child does not have a dark red, which was a closer match. So it uses, it found the next closest match, again, a classics, blah, on down. So it basically is going across every product line trying to find the closest match. So some people may find that useful to compare colors across lines. Now, let me briefly jump into a question I get a lot, and that is on the Ohuhu markers. Many people have asked for me to add Ohuhu, and I hope I'm saying this right. I absolutely have no idea if that's how the brand is pronounced. And I have tried and tried and tried to get a decent listing of their color palette. It's been very challenging. I just haven't had time to basically manually sample every single color they have. If you're interested in helping out, you really want the Ohuhus in here, you can email me at help@ragejuice.com. I think maybe we can, if a couple people are willing to help, we could probably divide up the colors and sample those. I can explain exactly how to do that and what I need, the format I need. It's just sort of a manual task, and unfortunately, that one brand has been the most difficult to, believe it or not, it was actually very easy to get the Copic colors, and all the other brands were fairly easy to get their color palettes, but Ohuhu has been quite elusive. So there's the answer on that. Just a quick explanation again on the color formats. That value there where you specify a color, in this case you see RGB. There are multiple ways you can specify a color. Again, you can use the standard web-safe color names themselves, case insensitive, no spaces, just type in an exact name, black, white, red, orange, whatever. You can use hex values in multiple ways, with or without the preceding hash sign, pound sign. In this case, alpha channel, which is the last byte, is going to be ignored. It's not really looking at that in this case. But you can do the standard 6 or 3 numbers for a hex value. And again, the JSON RGB, which is 0 through 255 for red, green, blue on each of those values. And that is how you use the API. You are, of course, welcome to use this form. And again, this illustrates why a good UI form in fronting up an API is important, because we have to know the exact color value to use the API. And a form like this obviously gives us a color chooser, right? That we can much more easily select a color instead of having just know the value itself. So yeah, there's the supported colors. So enjoy and let me know what you think. Thanks.